Hello and welcome, or welcome back. This is a short video. I'm here to enlist the aid or ask the assistance of my viewers to try to locate a piece of equipment, and we'll get to that in just a second. A lot of this stuff will be familiar to my regular viewers. We have the E200 precision apparatus signal generator that I restored in a previous video, and as we found out, that's actually a fairly stable unit. It's actually quite accurate once you have it logged. In the background there, my ICO signal generator, which has taken the precision's place simply because I like that great big scale on the ICO. Over here on the other side, we have the precision E400 sweep generator, which uses a wobulator type setup. A wobulator, what that is an electromechanical unit that has a disc in front of a coil that wobbles back and forth at 60 hertz and gives you your sweep frequency. And we have the newer upgraded version of the E400 there in the background, this unit right here. I have recently acquired a couple more pieces of gear here. This is an upgraded or a much newer version of the E400. This is the E410C sweep generator. This is purely electronic. The sweep is generated electronically with a special transformer. It also has built into it a marker adder. And these units over here, while you could add markers to them, they tended to be distorted in the IF strip. It went directly in with the RF going into the radio being worked on, whereas this unit injects the markers after the signal is demodulated. It adds it in after it's been through the IF strip. This unit up here is an RCA marker adder that can be used in conjunction with these other sweep generators. Now, it was originally designed for the RCA sweep generator, of course, but it can be used with any of them. You just have to connect the proper cables. Now, what I'm asking for is if any of my viewers have seen the Precision Model 220 marker adder, and I've been holding off in this video for quite a while trying to find one of these. The manual is readily available, and I have a copy of it here. This is a reprint, of course. I have been looking and looking and looking, and I have never actually seen one of these, and they don't even show up in the eBay completed listings. So they must be somewhat rare, whereas the RCA unit up here, there's dozens of them available. This one I got for a reasonable price, and I suspect it's probably okay except for recapping, and the reason I say that is this cord is, pieces of it just fell off, is totally disintegrating. All original screws in the cabinet. The cord is just falling apart. It came untested, but I can see why with that cord on there you wouldn't plug the thing in. So probably nobody's played with that. Whereas this unit here, the 410C, has mismatched screws in the cabinet. Now, I haven't opened any of this gear yet, but mismatched screws and a new power cord on it. So somebody's been in there. Hopefully they haven't done any damage. What brings this all about is I had been looking for a long time for a suitable candidate to do the FM part of the series way back when I did the AM, how to align an AM receiver and how the AM demodulator worked, etc. and so on. I finally found a vintage set, this old Arvin, that has FM in it. So hopefully I haven't bit off more than I can chew. The cabinet's in extremely bad condition, and the dial inside you can't see from this angle. They had like a Christmas tree light underneath the little plastic dial face, and it's completely warped and no longer usable. I'm going to have to see if I can get a recreation. The cabinet's falling to pieces, but the chassis looks relatively unmolested. And again, I have not had this out of the cabinet, just a cursory examination. It doesn't look like it's been messed with too much. But I'm going to have a challenge here because I'm not a woodworker. Oh, there's another thing. Anybody out there familiar with veneer? The veneer on here measures about 20 thousandths of an inch thick. Really, really thin. I think most of it usually runs about a 32nd of an inch thick, and some of it even thicker than that. This is about a 64th of an inch thick. It's extremely thin veneer, and I don't know if that's readily available or not. I don't want to go much thicker, because going thicker will raise this plastic piece up and out when the veneer gets laid on, which means these screw holes won't line up. And yes, it's not a big difference, but I want to try to keep the original screw holes and not have to drill new holes or fill these holes and re-drill or whatever, and all the stuff that goes along with that. But if anybody knows a source of 20 thousandths thick veneer, that's really, really thin stuff. Of course, this steel front grille, fortunately there's no dents in it. One of the reasons I bought it, that I should be able to clean that up. It looks like it was a neutral dark gray paint at one time, or neutral dark gray color, and it looks like the Arvin was gold, so I should be able to clean that up. This knob is broken, but that's all down the road. We now have an FM set that hopefully I can get up and running, repair and restore, and we can use this equipment to do the alignment of the IF. Oh, and there's the telephone. Let's shut this off. We're back, and as you can see, the daylight's going away. Steve likes to chat. I guess the whole point of the video, to get back on track here, is if anybody knows where I can get my hands on one of these reasonably, the model 220. And the reason I'd like to have that, one, I'd like to have all of the precision gear set up so that we can align the FM receiver when the time comes. I can use the RCA. It would be fun to do a comparison between the precision and the RCA. The RCA appears to have more functions as far as marker shape. The precision has width, but this one has different shape markers supposedly, although they have basically the same tube complement inside. So it'll be interesting to see what differences the circuitry have, yada, yada, yada. And again, I hope I haven't bitten off more than I can chew with the receiver over here, but worst case, as long as we can get the receiver section working, we can do some FM alignment and talk about the FM detection. I haven't even looked at the schematic to find out. I imagine this is a discriminator in here. I don't think they had ratio detectors that far back, but we'll find out. At any rate, yeah, I wanted to keep this short, and we got to get back to doing some other projects around here. We're never going to get the capacitor examiner finished if I don't get some of these projects finished in the basement. Did I mention at the beginning of this, I've been putting in a radon mitigation system. After 20 years of having my lab down in the basement, I decided I should probably take a look at the radon levels down there. 4 picocuries per liter of radon is what the government calls action level. At 4 picocuries, you're supposed to get out, open the windows, ventilate. I bought a radon detector and found out that I was running 10 to 12 picocuries on the average day, and sometimes as much as 16 on days when the barometer was low. So I guess we know what the radio mechanic's going to die from: lung cancer. Right now I have the level down. I was just looking at it, and we're down to 0.27 picocuries after I've installed my radon mitigation system. I put in an extra sump and ran the pump and the plumbing and everything, and an extra sump pump just to pick up any water that goes into the new sump. I have seen it go as high as 1 picocurie on an extremely low day with extremely low barometric pressure, but that's a far cry better than the 10s and 12s we had down there. So at any rate, that's one of the projects that's been keeping me away from the bench for the last couple of weeks. I saved myself quite a bit of money, but it's been taking time. So enough of that. I'm the radio mechanic. If you can find me one of these, I know somebody out there has to have seen one of these. You might even have one. Let me know. If it's reasonably priced, I'll take it off your hands. I'm the radio mechanic. We'll talk to you soon.